Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Preston, and if I am a little bit more silent, I do apologize, and if it is a little bit more echoey, I do apologize and stuff like that. But this is my preview and prediction for the co-main event and the main event. And the co-main event is Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, and then the main event is the Archer Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol 2, the rematch. The second fight, that had to be because, there was a 2-fight clause. So, basically that's why they're both fighting each other, and stuff like that. But it's because of the 2-fight clause. But it's going to be a good fight, and stuff between both these fights, and stuff, and both four of these fighters. And the undercard with that is absolutely crazy. But yeah, basically we're just going to jump straight into it, and stuff like that, So we're going to start off with the co-main event, Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, and basically, so we're going to start with the champion of Daniel Dubois, or let's start off with the underdog of Joseph Parker. We're going to start with him of what he needs to do into winning this fight. What he needs to do to winning this fight is that Joseph Parker has a heavy jab that's very quick, and stuff, and he constantly uses that all throughout the fight. That's his best tool when it comes down to his boxing skill, and that's honestly the reason why he's up in the rankings, is because of how good his jab is, and also that he can throw quick combos for a heavyweight. And basically he needs to do that, but he needs to really depend on that jab. So basically, Joseph Parker, he needs to really utilize that jab. And the thing is that when he utilizes that jab and stuff, because Daniel Dubois, look at the Joe Joyce fight, and stuff, he got stopped from that jab from Joe Joyce, and look at Joe Joyce right now. He's not even, doing good. It's you don't even hear the man, but he still has some good wins, Joe Joyce, and stuff like that. And I feel like he does have some potential. I just don't know what's going on, but I just feel like that if Joe Joyce was able to do that, I feel like that Joseph Parker should be able to utilize that jab to make it difficult, so then he could get some things from Daniel Dubois, so then he can be able to, win more rounds than Daniel Dubois, because for him to win, he is more prone to getting a decision more than a stop. He could stop him, but more a decision. But yeah, I'm just going to raise my voice a little bit more. But yeah, basically that's what he needs to do to winning this fight, and stuff. Because if he's able to do that, I feel like he should be able to win. He just needs to punish, Daniel Dubois with his boxing skills, with his heavy boxing skills. But yeah, so moving on to Daniel Dubois. What Daniel Dubois needs to do to winning this fight is that Daniel Dubois, he needs to do what he needs to do, what he does normally. He needs to pressure, Joseph Parker. But the thing is that he needs to kind of box his way into it, utilize the jab, kind of land that right hand, and stuff like that to get, Joseph Parker off balance and utilize that stiff jab, kind of like what I said with Joseph Parker, but more in a street fighting way, Because Daniel Dubois isn't a sharpshooting type of fighter. He's a complete bull rush type of fighter that has 2 cannonballs with hands, and stuff like that. And he needs to utilize that again, but he needs to be smart because if he keeps going in, Joseph Parker does have good boxing IQ. I will definitely say that. One of the best boxing IQs in the heavyweight division, and stuff like that, And I feel like, that with that knowledge, I feel like that if Dubois kept coming in the inside, I feel like that Joseph Parker would end up winning cases of the rounds because of him counter-punching Daniel Dubois and stuff like that, and making it making it where Daniel Dubois is making it difficult for Daniel Dubois to make it his own fight. And also the one thing though is that whenever Joseph Parker presses Daniel Dubois to the ropes, which I do think is going to happen because, that's one of the ways of how Joseph Parker can land his punches, because he utilizes, cutting off the distance from fighters and stuff like that. So then basically, like, you know, sometimes when Joseph Parker has people on the ropes, sometimes he doesn't unleash all of his punches. Sometimes he'll just throw maybe one to two to maybe three punches sometimes, you know, and stuff like that. Sometimes he'll unleash a combo, but whenever, you know, like Joseph Parker is just letting those little combos, he needs to like counter him every single time. You know, because then that's going to make Joseph Parker more scared, back up, and then after that, Daniel Dubois can just go and bull rush the shit out of Joseph Parker. But basically, my final prediction for this fight, you know, and stuff, like, this is going to be a very good fight. And, well, you know, I do feel like it's going to be a good fight in my thoughts, you know, and I do think it's a good build-up of a fight, you know, but this is how I see the fight, you know, and stuff. The early rounds, you know, I do see, you know, like the first like 2 rounds, I do see Joseph Parker utilizing his boxing skills, utilizing his distance, you know, and, you know, comfortably winning those rounds, you know, and stuff like that. 3 and 4 is kind of gonna be a turn of events, because then I see Dubois, you know, start, you know, countering, you know, Joseph Parker, pounding on Joseph Parker, you know, and then I do see it like maybe like. And honestly, I do see him knocking down Joseph Parker, like, between either the 3rd or the 4th round. I do see him knocking down Joseph Parker. But basically, after, you know, 4 rounds, you know, after 4 rounds of the fight, you know, and stuff, you know, I do have it being 2-2, but I do have Daniel Dubois winning, you know, like the early rounds because of the knockdown. If it wasn't for the knockdown, I would say it would be like a draw, you know, and stuff like that, you know, within like the 4 rounds, because I have it 2-2, you know, and stuff. But leading into the mid rounds, you know, and stuff, just to remind myself of round 5, round 6, round 7, round 8. So round 5, I do see, you know, round 5, Daniel Dubois, you know, just outworking, you know, Joseph Parker, just giving it to Joseph Parker, you know, Joseph Parker just struggling to find answers, you know, and stuff like that. Round 6, you know, I do see it being the same thing, but I do see another knockdown because of how much punishment Daniel Dubois is giving to Parker. But basically, I would say, you know, round 7 and round 8, I do have it where, you know, Joseph Parker, you know, like, he is surviving, he is utilizing his boxing skill, you know, and stuff like that, you know. He is, you know, making it kind of like starting to make it kind of a tougher fight, you know, and stuff like that, like in both those rounds, you know, and stuff, him utilizing his boxing skill. I would say, I'm going to just say round 7, you know, and stuff. I'm going to give it to Joseph Parker, you know, and stuff like that. But then round 8, I'm for surely giving it to Daniel Dubois, you know, and stuff. But then round 9, and then I would say I would just see just Joseph Parker just getting beaten up, you know, for the whole fight. But in that case, a scenario and stuff like that, you know, like, I do see, you know, Daniel Dubois stopping Joseph Parker. I would say it's somewhere around like the later rounds. I would say, you know, like the later rounds. I'm probably gonna say around like round 9. I'm gonna say that Joseph Parker is gonna get stopped. But yeah, that's my final prediction for this fight. For the co-main event is that I got Daniel Dubois winning this fight by a late round stoppage or knockout. If I'm gonna say between the two, I'm gonna say a stoppage, because Joseph Parker is tough. So I'm gonna say a stoppage. But we're back at the crib and stuff like that, you know, and stuff. You know, I had to go and take care of some things and stuff like that. You know, some emergencies and stuff. So that's the reason why you couldn't see my face, you know, in the other clips. But now here's my face. But, you know, for the main event, you know, because for the co-main event, I got Daniel Dubois absolutely destroying Joseph Parker, you know, and stuff like that. I just, you know, I do see Joseph Parker showing some answers, you know, with his skill set. You know, he'll always show answers, but at the same time, I just don't think his defense, I think sometimes his defense is lacking. And, whenever, his defense is lacking, like, he just constantly gets hit, and Dubois is just going to destroy him with that. But Beterbiev versus Bivol. But the main event, Archer Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, and stuff like that, this is the rematch. Archer Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol #2, and stuff. And I'm definitely looking forward to this fight. This is a very big fight, and stuff like that, between two Russian fighters, and stuff like that, which is something that we don't see a lot in boxing, and stuff like that, to be honest, because it's like, when was the last time we seen like an all-out Russian fight? I feel like this is probably like the biggest Russian fight in boxing, because Archer Beterbiev, he's Russian, and Dmitry Bivol, he's Russian. So this is like the biggest fight like from Russia, and stuff like that. Ever from Russia, I'm saying, like, no, like, boxing event, like, and stuff like that, with two Russian fighters have been this big of an event before, ever, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. But on to the actual fight, and stuff like that, but, what these fighters need to do to winning this fight. And I'm going to just say also, in the last fight, it was honestly a good fight. Like, did Archer Beterbiev win that fight? Absolutely. But at the same time, though, it's like, Archer Beterbiev didn't just, he didn't make it look easy. I will say it like that. But it just, you have to give Bivol credit, because Bivol, there was moments, and there was actually a time where Bivol, like, got ahead of the scorecards. But then, after that, just Archer Beterbiev took it from there, and stuff like that, So that's the thing, but this is a crazy rematch, in my opinion. This is something it's just because it's like Dmitry Bivol has like one of the best boxing in boxing. But the way how how Archer Beterbiev just overpowered, Dmitry Bivol, it's just like it was almost like, like Dmitry just got beat by a heavyweight, but then he was a light heavyweight. You know what I mean? It's like, it was weird. It was almost like Archer Beterbiev fought like he was the bigger person. But it's just, it's hard though, because Dmitry Bivol, he's the tough ass fucking fighter. But here we go, and stuff like that. What these fighters need to do to win, Beterbiev needs to do the same thing of what he did. Dmitry Bivol needs to do the same thing of what he did. They both don't really have a simple task. Like Archer Beterbiev, he needs to be a powerhouse. He needs to use his counter punching, and stuff like that. And so that's the thing. And, he needs to use feinting. And the one thing that Beterbiev did very, very good, he used very, very good, feinting skills. Like his feinting skills is like elite. Like literally, when I say this this dude's freaking, when I say this nigga's fucking, like feinting skills is elite, it's elite. Like, literally, like, I'm just saying, though. Like, this nigga's feinting skills is elite. Because, because it's like, that's how he beat Dmitry. Because it's like, he used the feinting, he used the jab, he used his power, he used his counter punching, but then he kept feinting. Because Dmitry, he loves utilizing the jab, and Dmitry's best punch to winning a fight is that jab. And that right hand, but mainly that jab. And that's the thing, and just the feinting skills from Archer Beterbiev is very, very good, and stuff. But realistically, both of these fighters need to do the same thing of what they did, and stuff like that. It's just like, they didn't really do anything wrong, and stuff. But the one thing with Archer Beterbiev, like with Dmitry Bivol, he needs to throw more punches, because I understand, Beterbiev is a fucking powerhouse, just like how I said. But it's just, but at the same time though, you need to throw your shit. Like I don't know what to tell you. You're going against Archer fucking Beterbiev. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta throw your punches. You can't just go out and shit a goose egg and shit like that. Like, you gotta throw your shit, and stuff. So that's all I gotta say with Dmitry Bivol. But yeah, my final prediction for this fight, and stuff like that, um, you know, so the early rounds and stuff like that, I do see it where, where Dmitry Bivol, like I do see where he is struggling, and I do see the early rounds being in favor of Archer Beterbiev because I do think his counterpunching, I do think his feinting, and his boxing skills, and his boxing IQ. Like I feel like that he would, I feel like he would just win the first 4 rounds in my opinion. But then, after that, and stuff like that, I would say the next 2 rounds, which is 5 and 6, I would give it to in favor of Dmitry Bivol, and stuff like that. I would say round 7 would be in favor of Archer Beterbiev, but then round 8 would be in favor of Bivol. But yeah, heading into round 9, I have it 5 rounds to 3 in favor of Archer Beterbiev. So round 9 and stuff like that, which is heading into the later rounds and stuff. I do see it being a tough round, and stuff like that. I do see it being back to back, and I do see it being like one of like the closest rounds. I would say the closest round in the fight, I would say, and stuff like that, and I just think it's back and forth. But at the same time, though, I do feel like that, I do feel like that, Dmitry Bivol, he's starting to find his way into the fight. He's starting to, outbox, Beterbiev, finding his range, finding his movements, and stuff like that. So I'm going to give that round to Dmitry Bivol. But then round 10, and stuff like that, I do see it being, competitive, and stuff like that, but I do see it kind of being another, round in favor of Dmitry Bivol, and stuff like that. I do see him, like outboxing, a Beterbiev, but I do see him feeling more comfortable in this round, and stuff like that. And I do see him like starting to figure out what he needs to do, and stuff like that, So I'm gonna give that round to Dmitry Bivol. Close fight. But yes, going into the championship rounds and stuff like that, I do see this being a close fight. I do see this being a draw heading into the championship rounds. But then round 11, and stuff like that, I do see it where, oof, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Oof, I'm gonna say that since I'm not gonna have any draws in this fight, and stuff like that, I am gonna say, Beterbiev is gonna win round 11, and then he's gonna win round 12. So overall, my final prediction for the main event is that I have Archer Beterbiev barely, beating Dmitry Bivol again by a close decision. But yeah, I do have, Archer Beterbiev winning that fight, I do see it being, like a very good fight. And I do see it in this fight that, that Dmitry Bivol is going to fight harder in this fight, though. But it's just at the other hand, though, it's still hard for me to pick him. Like, the only how far I can really get with Dmitry Bivol winning this fight, and stuff like that, is that, is a draw. That's the only way how I could really see Dmitry Bivol winning this fight is by a draw, and stuff, which isn't winning this fight, but by both fighters winning, and stuff like that. But since I don't want to have a draw in this fight, and there very much could be a draw, in this fight, but I oftenly do say draws a lot, but that's the thing. But I'm just throwing it out there. It's like, it most definitely could be a draw, and stuff like that. And betting on a draw isn't wrong. Betting on whatever fighter, you can win money on whatever fighter, and stuff like that, But I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, in my brain, and stuff like that, like, that's the thing, like, I just, I don't want to see a draw in this fight, so I'm not going to predict that, so if I do see somebody winning this fight, you know, and stuff like that, I do see Archer Beterbiev winning this fight by a close decision. It could be unanimous, but I do see the rounds being close regardless, you know, and stuff like that, you know, and I see it being 7 rounds to 5 in favor of Archer Beterbiev. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston. Peace out.